Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the World of Wayne. Today we're going to be continuing with the poker build. Look, I got it right this time. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Ducati 1299 Panigale R Final Edition. Now, if you haven't seen the first video where I explain this kit, it's a cross between like a part work model and a regular model kit. Just check out the video that I've put up here. This is the part 1 video. In today, we're going to be starting to do part 2. So let me just show you where I'm hoping to get done to today. So this is the engine as we created it so far, and it's the engine that we're starting with at the moment, which looks just like that. Now, if I show you the instructions, which I'll bring over here, they are sort of expanded views like you would see on a normal model kit here. And we've pretty much done this whole page here. So today, I'm hoping to do stages 2 and stages 3. We might even manage to get onto stage 4 there. But this is where we're getting up to, and we're continuing to build onto the engine just like that. Now, normally this is the stage where I say, if you want to get this for yourself, but I don't know where you can get this from at the moment. Obviously, I'm building this for Ian from Part Work Upgrades, and I've just put the link to Part Work Upgrades down here. He runs the Part Work Upgrades company. He bought this, and he wanted me to build it for him. So I was like, yep, no problems at all. I can do that. But now I've seen it, I'm like, wow. There's a lot of stuff to do, so I think we'll just get straight on with it. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So with this build, a lot of parts are on sprue, and there's almost 26 sprues to go through. And the first thing we need is part U14 for this build. So basically, this is part U, as you can see on the sprue there. And I'm just looking for part 14, which is this massive piece here. Got myself some new sprue cutters here. They should be nice and sharp, which they are. Excellent. I'm cutting that flush, so I've got that part there. I'm also going to need part U12 for this stage. So looking around here. Now, not all the parts for each stage are on the same sprue, unfortunately. So it is a lot of case of trying to find where the parts are. So that's U12. I need U04. So I'm just cutting off everything we need, which is this one here. And I need U19, which is this one just over here. So I'm going to take that away and get the packet for T. And as you can see, I've labelled these with a ginormous letter now, so I can find them easily. And the part for T I need is T07. So looking at all these parts, that's going to be this one just here. So I think all the parts for this stage, I've now cut off the sprues. We're going to start this with size W screws. Again, these are labelled in the pack here. So first thing we need to do, bring the engine over, looking like that. And if you remember on the first stage, we put this block in here, but we didn't put any screws at the top here. And the reason for doing that is because obviously we're going to be putting this part on now. So basically this is going to be going over those top pieces just like that. And we're going to secure that in with these size W screws just here. Just like that. I'm using my electric screwdriver to do this. They're in, and then I'll just give that a tighten up with my regular hand screwdriver. Probably actually best to have something with a little bit more oomph, because I don't want this part moving around. Excellent, so that's in nice and rigid there. I now need the D screws, because I'm going to be working on the underside of that section there that we've just been working on. And we need this piece that looks like this. This was U19, and that's just going to go into that gap that we can see just there. Like that. Perfect. So we're going to put 2 D screws in there. And there's the second one. Make sure that's in nice and tight. Now, spinning this around on this point here, we've got this part here, which was U12. That's going to go just over those lugs just there. Just figuring out what way around it goes. It goes that way round. And that's going to be held in with D screws as well. It is a challenge on these builds to figure out what order you do this, because there's a piece that's going to go on top of that. So when you look at the pictures, you've got to figure out what bit you've got to do first Because if you do it in the wrong order, if I was to have put the top on first, I wouldn't have obviously been able to put these screws in. So there we go, that's in. And then we had this other piece, this black piece here, which was on sprue T07, that looks like that. That's just going to go on top of this section here, this way round, just like that there. It's going to be held in with size J screws. So I need 4 of these. That's one. Line that up on the rest of the sides here. So very good. That's what that looks like when it's on. Now in this section just here, I've got this piece here which was on the U sprue. That's just going to go into the holes that we can just see there, and that's just held in with one D screw just into that hole there. We don't put anything in the top screw. I've learnt my lesson quickly on this build, that if it doesn't tell you to do something, don't do it, because there's obviously a reason. There we go. So that's in like that. Now I'm just going to put that to one side, because as well as sprues, most of the metal parts come on a sheet like this, and we're going to need now DC12 54, which is somewhere on here. I've already seen that. I can't find it now. Where's 54? It was on here. I'll figure that one out. Oh, there it is. M30. So I'm going to get these ones out so we can put these on. So there you go. I've got those 3 pieces out. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with the DCF12 piece here. These are the metal pieces looking like that. And this one's just going to go into the 3 holes just underneath the section we put in. So this is going to go in here just like that. It's going to be held in with 2 P screws at this side and a size H screw just here. So this is where the challenge of this build is, that not only are you having to find the pieces, which I mean it's a game in itself, to be honest with you. I mean that took 5 minutes to find all of those, but it's not necessarily the same screws each time. So what I'm going to do is just put them in lightly with my wear a screwdriver here. Now this is all metal, this one, so I am putting this in oil just like that. And then I've got the size H screw here, just need one of them, and that's going into the point next to it here just like that. And then I'll tighten these all up with my heavy duty screwdriver. Excellent. Now the next one was number 54, which looked like that. It's easy to see where this goes because we've got the shape for it just there. That's going to go on like this. This time they're all held in with D screws. And it's going to take 3 of these. So that's 1, number 2, and finally bit of oil down the bottom there, number 3. And once again, just make them a little bit tighter. Matter of fact, the wearer's made these as tight as I can get them, I think, so I think we're good with that. So because they don't think we've been diverse enough with screws, I've got to get screw E now, because we've got this gear to put on, which looks like that. That's just going to go on top of this section here with the lip part facing down. So this is going to go on like that. We're going to put an E screw in there. Now that's a flange screw. It looks just like that. And I'll get that in there. This time I will use this screwdriver. And that's in perfectly. And that is stage 2 complete. I've still got a bit of a wobble in there actually. Let's see if I can get that a little bit tighter. That's as tight as I can get it. So that's better. But it is still able to spin, as you can see. But that was stage 2. So before I carry on, I'm going to get the sprues out for the next stage. So I'm going to need sprue label T. Now I am filming this part just so you can see the pain of having to find things. So in T we want part 12, which is a tiny piece. Looks just like this one here. So I'll get that off. There you go. It doesn't have these side pieces on, so we need to cut them off as well. 1 and 2. We also need T06, which is the other side to what we did last time. So it's this one just here. Perfect. And we're basically finished with that sprue for the minute. Now a few parts on sprue U. So I need number 20, which is this one here. These are silver details. I need U13, which is this one here. Pretty similar to the pieces that we put in last time. Excellent. I need U07. I'm looking. God, this is a tiny piece, this one. That's this one here. I need 10, which is this one here. I need 9. Lots on this one. I need 5 over here. I need 16. God, there is loads on this one. That's another tiny piece just over here. So I think that's everything I need on you. And I'll move those pieces over here, because now I've got sprue pack P. I need some parts from P. So I need P9. That's this one here. P17. Where's that? That's this big one just over this side. I need a part in pack R, which is number 3. Just looking around the sprues here. That's this little piece down here. I think we're almost good to go. Now I also need a part called RF01. So I'm looking at my box of tricks here, because I'm not actually sure what RF01 is. It looks like a pipe to me. So I'm just having a look to see what we've got in here, if I've got anything that looks like a pipe. We've got some stuff here. That's RF. So I'm guessing it's one of these ones in here. So I think you can see with all these parts why this is going to be a little bit tricky. So let's do this in some sort of order here. The first thing we're going to need are these 2 parts here, which was P09 and P17. And these parts are just going to go together just like that. Now they're going to be held in from this side with J screws. Again, this is really hard to figure out the order we're doing this, because in the exploded diagram, it just shows this part actually on the engine. So you've got to do it in a certain order. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to put these screws in that I'm putting in now. So that's the J screws in. But this whole piece is going to go on these holes here, here, and here. So when I put this on, it's going to look just like that there. Now that's going to be held in with 3 size D screws looking like that. So hopefully I'm going to put this on, and I'm hoping I don't have to take it off again, because there's another detail to go in. Because it doesn't really, as I said, tell you what order to put everything in. That's number 2. And finally, that's number 3. So what I am doing is I'm systematically working my way around the instructions. If I just show you what I mean about these exploded instructions here, this is what we're doing. So I've started here by doing this. I'm going to work my way around. So this is part U that I've got here. That's just going to go pretty much like we did on the first or the stage before that. It's going to go in there just like that. And that's going to be held in once again with D screws. So one there and one just on the other side. Then the next thing we've got is this little cap here, which is going to go into that hole here, and they want that just glued in. So what I'm going to do is just put a smallest bit of glue just into that hole there. Not a lot at all, just to keep that in. And then this will be going on top like that. Should hold itself in, no problems at all. So in an exact mirror to what we did on this side here, if you remember in the last stage, we're going to be doing the same just on this side over here. So that's just going to go in there like that, and that's held in with size D screws. I don't think you need me to comment about the detail on this. This is crazy detail. The more small pieces that we have to find, even though it's frustrating, you do know it's going to add to the beauty of this engine. And if this is just what the engine's looking like, I wonder what the whole bike's going to look like. So when that's in place, just on top of it, we're going to have this piece here, which was on the T sprue, and they're all held in with J screws. Now it does take 4 of these. This is the 4th one going in here. So as you can see, that now mirrors on top how that looks. So continuing to work our way around, we've got this piece just like this. And in a similar fashion to what we did over on this side here, we've got a place for this to go just in that section there. So it's going to go in just like that. That's just going to be held in with 1 D screw. There we go, that's locked in. Now it's what order we actually put all of these in. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. So I'm guessing that we actually put this together first. As you see, we've got a keyhole pattern in there. So that's just going to go in like that. But it's going to be held in from the other side with a size J screw. Now I think I'm putting this in the right order, but you know, who knows? So put that in, that will keep that bit apart together. We've got a lid to put on this side here. It's not asking me to glue it, so it is actually just a push to fit. So I've got the canister there. Looks like a starter motor. I don't know if that's what that is. Now I thought this was actually screwed in because we've got a hole there, but they're saying no, we want to glue that in. So I guess that's exactly what I'm going to do. So just a bit of glue on there. And it is a little bit it's not very clear about what sort of way round I put this. Now I actually think this goes on sideways because it doesn't fit very good if you put it on coming outwards this way. So I have put it on sideways. I don't know if that's correct, but when this is on the engine like that, obviously I'm going to be able to put a pipe just into that side there. So if I turn the engine upside down here, we've got these 2 holes here, and this is where this is going to go. And you see why I'll put that in that way now. It's just going to go on like that. Now that's going to be held in with size F screws. F for Freddy. So I've got them here. So that's the first screw in. I'll only put it in a little bit, and I'll use my larger screwdriver just to tighten that up. We've got this tiny cap detail here to go on. Now, they're not saying to glue this, but that's just going to go onto that hole that we can see at the end. So I'll give it a push in and just see how secure that is. Nope, I am going to just drop a little bit of glue in there. Put that in with a cocktail stick, because I don't want to lose that part. Again, it's not saying to glue that, but I think you need to. That's far too loose in there. There we go. And that's in place. All we got left to do is take some of this piping. Now this is 1 continuous length. So what we need to do is cut this down to the actual length that we need. Now they're saying it needs to be 34 millimeters. So I can either use my cutting mat, but I'm going to use my ruler here, and I'll cut that precisely at 34 millimeters, just like that. And then that end is going to go into the nipple that we just glued on here. I'm putting that in. Now I don't know whether I should put some glue on that. I think I will actually, because these pipes have got a habit of coming out, which I don't want them to do. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to use my cocktail stick. I'm just going to open the end up here, as you can see, and that's going to help out to put that on. I've already applied some glue just to that nipple there. Take that out, and that should be able to just slip straight on there now. Perfect. Just like that. Now we've got one thing left to do. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it looks like a starter to me, but it's probably something completely different, and I know in the comments you're going to tell me. But we do have a decal to put on that, and that's decal WD-15, which is this little tiny one over here. And this time I'm going to use some micro set on it. So when we apply micro set, I'm going to be putting this on here. What you're supposed to do afterwards is cover it with some micro sol afterwards to stick that into place. I won't be doing that because these are really tiny transfers, but they are supposed to be sort of like a mix and match. So I'm just going to put this on where it goes, and that's going to aid adhesion, and it's also going to soften the decal up when I put that on. I've got that on. It has got quite a potent smell there. Get this decal out of the water that I've put it in. make sure it's the right way round, which I believe it is. So it's applying on top of that micro set that I've put on. So once that's on, you can put some micro set just on top of this decal to make sure that's completely flat there, or you use your micro sol. I think that looks pretty good there. I'm just going to blot off the excess, and there you go, perfect decal again. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So I will think we're going to do stage 4 in this one as well, which means we're creating this whole section here to put onto the engine as well. And what I've done is I've done an exploded view, just a close-up so you can see this. So I'm not going to go through every single like part I'm taking from every single sprue, but it's all detailed on here. And I believe that's all the plastic details I need. We're going to be taking the silver box first, which looks like this. And in the holes at the top, we have got a little D-shaped pattern on these sections here to show which way round they go. I'm going to start slotting these pipes in. So we've got this one first. We're not going to need to glue these into place. They click in quite nice there. Putting these tiny parts in here. They all go off in different directions by the look of it. That's that one in. And finally, I've just got this round one here. Now we've got this black back to put on the back, and as you see, we've got the locating lug in that. That's just going to go into there, so we can push that together like that. I will put this piece back in. It's not sitting very comfortably in there. Now, to just hold the other end of this box in, we've got this size J screw. So I'm going to screw that in here. And then on top of it, we've got this little, looks like a control box or some relays or something like that. They've got different size holes, so it does dictate what way round they go. They go this way round, and push that down. It should just click into place. 1, 2, there we go. And that just hides the screw that we've just put in. All we've got left then is this top piece here, which again, we've got a locating lug on that. So that's just going to go in here. And it's going to hold all of that together just like that. Now this is what I'm talking about, that piece I should have done first, because obviously I need to put a J screw in from that side, which I can't do now. So I'm going to have to take this all apart, take this screw out, which was also a J screw, get that out, and then do this in the right order. And the reason I've left this mistake in is to show you that how difficult it can be to actually just get everything where it's meant to be. Take this back off. There we go. Then put this front back in like that, and then put this J screw to hold that in like that, and then once again we just got to put it all back together again. And there you go. It doesn't take long to put everything back together. I'm just going to put this back in now where it's meant to go. I've just realised the shape of this does dictate what way round it goes, so it can hold itself in if it's the right way round. So I'm just going to put this in and show you the exact way this goes. Probably best to actually take the one off next to it and put this one in first. And there you go. They're in all the correct ways now. So this whole unit here now is going to fit first off onto the two holes, a locating lug and the hole we've got at the top. So I'll slot that in. And that's going to be held in with a J screw. I really am hoping I'm putting this in the correct order here. So make that nice and tight. There we go. Now I'm going to be working on just the other side of this here. So again, hoping we get this round the right way, but we take this part here and we're going to be putting the top on like that. And we've got two holes inside, which we're going to be securing in again with size J screws. Now in the top of this, we're going to be putting these parts here. And again, there are locators on to show exactly which way round they go. So again, these are held in with J screws. And once again, you can see I've done this in the wrong order because I can't get a screwdriver in there. So I'm going to have to take this apart. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, let's just take this out. I've just realised, you know, because, you know, I'm new to this sort of thing, that there are actually numbers on the little thing which tell you the order to do them. So I'm making life really hard for myself when I don't really need to. So there we go. That's that one in there. And the one next to it, again, it is angled, so I know which way round it's going in. Get this one just on top here. And again, a size J screw just underneath. Excellent. Now we can put this part in like this and put the J screws back down. That's perfect. And then all we got to do is just piece these two bits together so it sits in here and lines up the holes just at the back there. And that's going to be held in by two completely different screws again, this time 2 L screws. Now this whole thing is going to go into the 2 holes that we've got there. It's going to sit on just like that, and that's going to be held in with size F screws. These once again are the long ones here. And then we've just got the one just in this other side here. And that's perfect. So that is what that's looking like. And that's all there is to do in stage 4. And I think that is where I'm going to leave it today. So we have done quite a bit onto this engine. I mean, check the details out now. That's what it's looking like from underneath. But yeah, very impressive. So I don't know how long this is going to take to do. I mean, filming time, that's just taken almost 2 hours. So, I mean, I was finding bits, but actually sorting all the pieces out in the box has made life a hell of a lot easier. So I'm a lot happier with this. Now, Berg, this one of our viewers, has affectionately called today's build Wheelie Wednesdays. So I think every Wednesday we'll do the Ducati on Wheelie Wednesday. So thank you for that suggestion, Berg. I really appreciate that. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.